All right, guys, welcome back to another Real Talk episode. Today, we're going to be discussing, we're going to be discussing something that has nothing to do with anything that would get me banned on YouTube, since this is my first video back from my slap on the wrist. YouTube puts you in a corner for 7 days when you have a video removed. And so this is my first video back. We're going to talk about vehicle mufflers and whether a ported vehicle muffler or a comped vehicle muffler is actually better and what differences there are. And I know it is so absolute. It actually pains me to even bend the knee, so to speak. But for a while, at least, until these strikes get removed off my account, I'm not going to be handling anything. We'll see how it progresses. I don't have a rep at YouTube, so I have to kind of tread lightly. My channel's not big enough that if it were to be removed, I don't think I'd ever get it back. So with that being said, we're talking about mufflers today. We also have a new method. If you do want to support the channel, there is a link in the description that'll take you to any sort of way you can support the channel. So you can check that out down below. Now more than ever, I really don't like asking people to help. I don't like asking for things, just the way I was raised. But if you guys do want to support the channel, now more than ever, I would really appreciate you using that link, following it to the other links, and there's codes, all that stuff, which we cannot discuss here on the channel anymore. So it's right down there below. This is pretty common for a lot of other channels who've been slapped on the wrist, who've been threatened before with having their channels removed. So I don't feel like you guys can figure this out, okay? I know you. I believe in you guys. So with that being said, for those of you who don't know, I had a video, who didn't get a chance to watch the video, I had a video uploaded about a week ago. Today it's Sunday, the 12th of January, so I'm still not able to upload right now, so this might be getting uploaded in a few days. I'm not sure how it works, if it's from the date of the upload or from the date of the removal and the strike being applied to your account. I believe it's from the date of the strike being applied to your account, because as of today, it's been over 7 days since the video was uploaded. But I don't know exactly how this works. This is the first time I've ever had a strike like this. So with that being said, I don't know when this is going to come out, but I put a video out previously talking about ports versus comps, and I had an autistic buddy at my local gun store who I love very much. He was asking me all these questions. He was hesitant to go with a ported a muffler, and he was hesitant because of the muzzle velocity lost, the perceived muzzle velocity lost. He couldn't really believe the numbers that Maple Leaf had on their website for what they were essentially saying the muzzle velocity loss would be, because they did their own chronographing. And so he wanted me to test it with different grain weight bullets and different setups. So we had G19s, all different setups with a factory muffler. We had a ported muffler. We had the comp muffler with two different comps, the PMM and the Radian. And I just took many hours of my life that I'll never get back to create this video, edit it over. I mean, it took me like 2 weeks, on and off working on this thing to put it out. 23-minute video, way overdone, for questions that no one's really even asking. And then it got taken down. So it was really just a kick in the head, if you know what I'm talking about. So with that being said, I really appreciate you guys staying here today, liking, commenting, even if you're just talking crap in the comments. Everything helps. And subscribing, checking your subscriptions is a huge help, guys. Thank you so much for doing that. And yeah, so pretty much I'll summarize that 23-minute video in as quickly as I can in my ADHD fashion. So we'll see. See how much time this takes me to do. Essentially, it does not matter. Whether you go with a comp or a port, it does not matter. Their differences are negligible at best between the two, right? They're definitely better than a factory non-comp, non-ported muzzle, a muffler there. But at the end of the day, the differences are not enough as far as recoil reduction, as far as velocity reduction on the ported stuff. It does not matter. Now, what I will say is, if you don't want to change the form factor of your muffler, then go with a ported muffler. If you don't mind changing the form factor and extending it a little bit, then go with a comped. If you don't mind losing, on average, 30 to 50 feet per second with a ported muffler, then ports are fine. If you want to increase your velocity of your muffler slightly, the PMM was the best, because I'm using a Safari Precision muffler on that guy, and it's extending it slightly. So you're actually getting G17 muzzle velocities out of the 19 lengths slide. And I'm trying to be so careful. This is so awkward. I'm so sorry if this is like the dumbest thing for you guys. I think it's really dumb. Anyways, if you really care about getting an extra couple feet per second, great. In that video, I actually was on the phone with the federal rep talking about HST and Hydroshock, which we tested the Hydroshock in the video on the chrono. And I asked them if a 60 foot per second difference, 60 to 70 foot, whatever it was, maybe because the maximum we saw was 80 feet per second difference between the PMM G19 length slide and that comp versus the impulse porting system from Maple Leaf. There was an 80 feet per second difference. And he said that is no, I asked him, is that enough to affect reliable expansion of self-defense, seeds out of your carry? And he said, absolutely not. Well, he said, no. He repeated himself and said no. And in that video, I actually played the audio. He called me back while I was recording. So that was my buddy's biggest concern. So we squashed that right away. So it essentially comes down to, and by the way, we did test G17 length slides as well. My buddy had a G47, kept saying G45 in that video, a G47 with a PMM on it with a longer slide and barrel. And I had an impulse ported system from Maple Leaf on a G17. And then we had the factory non-ported, non-comp barrel. And we tested those as well, and the same results. That was a 60 foot per second difference. The G19 experienced a little bit of a larger spread at an 80 feet per second difference. And as far as shooting them, the recoil impulses were slightly different. Again, I did not get someone had mentioned in the comments of that video before it got deleted, getting some sort of sled, I forget what it's called, where you can actually test muzzle rise or muffle rise rather, muffler rise. That's not what this test was about. I'm a regular guy. I try to bring you guys like a regular guy. Like, are you as a regular guy going to notice a difference, or is it going to matter enough to make your purchasing decision based off that? The answer is no. Your purchasing decision will be based off of form factor overall, if you don't mind extending that. If you have an open-ended, bumper, let's say, and that extended slide is not going to affect, your compatibility with that bumper, then it's not going to matter to you as much, but you're adding weight, you're adding this and that. But as far as the recoil impulse, did not change. For me, it was a slightly more snappy with the impulse stuff than it was with the comp stuff, but it was just slightly different. Shooting them back to back, very small differences that I don't believe most shooters would even notice, especially if you didn't shoot them back to back to back. And I was doing it right one after another and really trying to pay attention to what I was feeling instead of just remaining target focused and focusing on all the things that you should be when you're at the track. This is so silly. I know it's like, what kind of world are we living in anyways. At the end of the day, again, to summarize, 9 minutes later, whatever it was, I forget what time it was when I started, but I'm overstating the fact that it really doesn't matter. What matters more to me is that you can get either one. It's going to be a little bit of a cheat code, but it's not going to make you a better shooter. It's not going to help you find your dot faster. It's not going to help you have better finger discipline. So all of that stuff matters way more, and training matters way more. So you don't need those things, but it is cool that they're available. Everyone loves a cheat code. Everyone loves to upgrade and tinker and mess around. I also did mention some factory direct from the factory mufflers that are coming with comps and ports. And we talked about that a little bit, but again, I'm not handling anything on camera anymore. I just have my T here, YouTube. So hands up, don't shoot. We're not doing that anymore. I'm not going to risk everything that I've worked for the last 3.5 years because of some. Anyways, hopefully YouTube could follow in the footsteps of Meta, whether Meta is just pandering to the current administration or not. It was hopeful. It made me feel a little hopeful that Meta, Zuckerberg came out and talked about all that good stuff. So hopefully YouTube can learn a little bit from the trend, and hopefully it's not just a trend. Hopefully it's here to stay, because free speech is of the utmost importance to a free society. Anyways, with that being said, guys, I took way too long to explain the differences. Again, doesn't matter. So whether you want to keep the same form factor, whether you want to extend it because the comps look cool, they do look cool, and they work great, both the Radiant and the PMM. Or if you just want to save your money and go train and use what you have, that the best muffler you have is the muffler you have on you. So that stays true to this day. With that being said, guys, thank you so much for staying to the end of the video. It really means more to me now more than ever if you guys like and comment and subscribe. It's super played out, but anything helps. And if you just check that link down below, it'll take you to all the ways you can support the channel. Again, don't get anything you don't need, but if you do need something, it means a lot to me if you use my links and my codes. It really does support me and helps me stay motivated during these very thankless times when I feel like, why am I even doing this? So not to be woe on me. I love it. I love you guys. You guys are the reason I keep doing it. So thank you guys for staying to the end again. And until next time, talk to you soon. Love you guys.